The 19 northern governors, in collaboration with the chairpersons of the Northern States Traditional Rulers Council, have called for accelerated action in tackling the region's security challenges. The governors also called on the National Assembly to expedite action on the enactment of the legal framework for the takeoff of state police. Tonight, we search for more answers on the outlook for state policing. Babajide Oguso, founder of Leadership by Data and Channels Television's chief data analyst, is right here to share more analysis and intelligence about the future of state policing across northern Nigeria. Babajide, great to have you again on the News at 10.
Good evening, Ayatunde.
So we're looking at the issue of state policing. Well, first of all, what's the position of the president regarding this? Of course, during his campaign, he talked about this. Is there any way to know, really, what he will do on this subject at this present time and going forward?
It's tough. The president is being very careful with his choice of words. We'll share some of what he has said on state policing very soon. But Ayatunde, on state policing, there's good news, and now we have bad news. Now, the good news is more people are coming on board and agreeing to the state policing idea. The bad news is even many more people, much more than those that are agreeing, do not agree on how it should be implemented. So yes, we have some more people agreeing to state policing, but you have a lot more that do not agree on how it should be implemented. Why? One key word: uncertainty. And by uncertainty, when the president and his handlers and the villa, in reality, when they talk about state policing, what it is interpreted to mean is we want to take some of your powers. And indeed, if you look at the evidence of a lot of the countries where state policing is implemented, the state governors, the mayors are significantly stronger, often challenging the president. So we might be moving from a situation where we will have 36 state governors to 36 state presidents, because yes, without mixing words, state governors will become significantly stronger to even challenge the authority of the president, and the president will be weaker. Second reason, the constitutional amendment process is highly uncertain. But perhaps the third and most important reason, Ayatunde, is we are yet to answer that question of what will happen if state policing does not work. Now, let's take a look at some of the leaders' comments on state policing and to be able to understand what each person's position is. And like you said, to clearly see what the president has said. The president has been diplomatic right from the campaign program, preferring to talk more about positioning the institution to better deliver on its primary duties of community policing and maintaining law and order through crime fighting and prevention. So without clearly saying, I am for state policing or I am not for state policing, that's the president's position. President Buhari, more explicit, saying that state police is not an option, talking about the relationship between local government and the governors, and asking the question that, are the third tier of government getting what they are supposed to get constitutionally? Are they getting it? And that's from the President Muhammadu Buhari, and it says, let the people in the local government tell you the truth. President Obasanjo's position is for state policing. He says that our situation in Nigeria concerns everyone, particularly the case of terrorism. The case has gotten over the issue of community police. It is now state police. It is from the state police that we can talk about community policing. President Jonathan has made it very firm. The issue on the need of states to have their own police is not negotiable. And if we take a look at the National Assembly's position, they are more diplomatic, looking at the statement from Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, that says, let me state categorically that the House and indeed the National Assembly do not have a fixed position. So clearly, that is what we have on the matter as at this moment. Again, President keeping his decisions diplomatic, understanding the opportunities and indeed the threats.
All right, so it will appear that the northern governors are all for the state policing, calling for state policing, but some say this is a pre-2027 election talk just to get votes. But what are the facts right now?
There are three things that quickly come to my mind. My first is, if we say yes to state police, can we say no to local government policing? The second, Ayatunde, is the states have already had state policing, but they haven't realized. What do I mean? Poverty policing was meant to have stopped poverty from spreading across the northern states. Did our poverty police system work? We need to ask ourselves, has our infrastructure policing system in the north worked? Has our out-of-school children policing pretty much a system that's meant to stop more children from getting more children into schools? Has it worked? Portable water policing to stop waterborne diseases. So what we need to ask ourselves is, if all of these pseudo-policing systems, which indeed they are, have not worked, why will our criminal policing system work? Let's not forget, creating a system today, clearly different from running a system. Let's take a look even at how will the states be able to fund this policing system. And if we take a look at some of the facts, it allows us to answer the question that how feasible is it from the chart of the week? Let's look at the facts. We have Lagos State. If we take a look at the state IGR, 816 billion naira today. The IGR of Lagos State is more than all the 19 northern states combined. In simple terms, what Lagos earns as IGR in 1 month takes about all the 19 states combined about 2 months to earn that. So looking at the IGR perspective, and Lagos is still saying it needs to grow its IGR significantly to be able to achieve its goals. If we take a look at the next chart, which looks at beyond IGR, look at the state budgets. Lagos State this year has a budget of 3.3 trillion naira. Look at the states in the northwest region, excluding Kano and Katsina, looking at all the other states, Kebbi, Kaduna, Jigawa, Sokoto, Zamfara, their budget now up to Lagos State. The North Central,
Lagos is really doing a lot.
Lagos. And this is a Lagos State that is saying its budget is insufficient, and we have a Lagos State whose budget is even more than the budget of all the northeastern states combined. You know,
we're really running out of time. But before you go on, let me just, as we round off, I mean, look at the military. We know that over time, they've been trying to handle some cases, or solving some security issues that normally would have left in the hands of the police. So tell us, what are the civil military, collaboration programs looking like? Popularly, what we refer to as non-kinetic.
That is a lot of good news coming from the National Defense Headquarters. If we take a look, remember about 24 months ago when the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, came in, there were 3 things he talked about. When we talk about civil military programs, it was citizen health programs, community development programs, and yes, he talked about peace development and negotiation programs. The feedback we have currently is that a lot of those programs are being successful, and his position today is that every player and indeed fan has a role in the success of a football team. This is the same principle of national security and defense. And just before you go, Ayotunde, if there's one final analysis that we need when we talk about state policing, Ayotunde, it is that the first type of policing we need in Nigeria is truth policing, because the truth, more than any other thing else, is under attack. So what we need to protect first is to protect the truth, and every other thing shall follow.
I will leave it at that. Babajide Ogunsanya, thank you once again for your analysis on the news at 10.
The pleasure is all mine.